While France is scrambling to maintain its presence in coup-shaken Niger, its bigger brother, the EU, is reportedly moving to increase its influence in West Africa. Member states are said to have agreed to begin a mission in the Gulf of Guinea this autumn, citing terrorism operations and a need to strengthen security. Well, the operation will reportedly span Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Ivory Coast, with police and soldiers deployed to the countries aiming, quote, to prevent instability triggered by jihadists. Previous similar operations in Niger, Mali, and Somalia failed to yield fruitful results, with international troops ordered to leave after years of peacekeeping operations. Locals in Togo say, based on past experience, the deployment of EU troops is less than welcome.
It's not a good idea at all, as despite their efforts in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they failed in their mission. It's not worth it. Terrorists committed crimes when they were in these countries. We don't want them here.
We need security in the country, but we think the situation gets worse if these troops come to us. We are also vulnerable, and that could create more tension. Their presence will attract more attention to our country, and it will weaken the situation. I'm not in favor of this deployment.
One must first ask whether these countries have really expressed the need for intervention by European troops. If this is not the case, I do not see the importance of their deployment. Moreover, ECOWAS can already constitute a security strategy to deal with the terrorist threat. It would be good to have the support of Europe, but we have to see what is hidden behind it.
We got reaction to the EU's plans for some kind of new civilian military mission in West Africa. We got reaction from some guests.
If we have Islamists coming in, what we need from the EU and from any well-meaning nation is arms. You can train our soldiers, you can arm us, we can take them on ourselves. You know, we don't need military bases. Let us see how many of those, there are about 4 military bases in Niger. I do not know that one single US soldier or EU soldier went out there to attack Islamists. And they've been there all this while. They've not gone there to attack one single Islamist or defend Niger. It's just a pretext to bring their boots on the ground there and then establish their presence there because of the rising influence of the perceived rising influence of Russia on the subcontinent. And I'm really worried because, unfortunately, some of our leaders are very gullible and buying into this story, either knowingly or unknowingly, and endangering the future of this region.
Certainly, there is no Pan-Africanist worth their salt who will be delighted by the news of the European Union wanting to establish a mission within Africa, particularly in the Gulf of Guinea zone. We are troubled by the events that Europe thinks that they have what it takes to control and to bring about peace in Africa. The history of Africa and Europe is not that of a symbiotic relationship. It is that of a parasitic relationship, where Europe is the parasite that takes much away from Africa. And for anything and everything that Europe has done and continue to do, it's only to further European interests.
So as the issue in Central Africa unfolding, the crisis in Niger, the coups in Mali and Burkina Faso, and the latest one in Gabon, as all these issues are ongoing, the European Union has decided to put more troops in Africa, to create more military bases in Africa. It wasn't long ago that they had so many troops in Niger, in Burkina Faso, and in Mali, saying that they are fighting, quote unquote, the jihadis. And one can ask themselves, how successful was all that? How successful was it? How much progress did they really bring out of it? Before Burkina Faso decided that they should leave and that they want to handle the security challenges by themselves, how successful was the fight against jihadis? And what about the Boko Haram situation? How much success has been brought to that issue? Even the one in Mali, what did they do? France was there for over 10 years. And what did France actually do to bring this matter to bed? And now they are thinking about putting another one, I think, in Togo. Yeah, that's what they are trying to do. So all they think about is to militarize the whole of West Africa. And even though it has been proven time and time again that those military intervention from the West do not really do anything, the West is still insisting on bringing in more military force to Africa. What are these military forces really doing in Africa? What are they really doing there? And we, the Africans, can really see how we are being used. We are seeing it. And one other thing I would like to say is that this is a time one will expect the AU, that is the African Union, to put on some big man pants and start talking on the behalf of Africa. We will expect them to now say, no, we don't want this your military force on African soil. That we tried it before and it was a total failure, a colossal disaster. And we don't want it anymore. One will expect the AU to be doing that. But things like this, they are not concerned. Just wait until another country has a military coup and see how proactive the AU will become. They are so quick in putting out communiques saying they have suspended membership of countries with military juntas. But to do something that will be to the benefit of Africa, they won't do it. For example, what the European Union is planning to do in Africa. This is something the AU should say, no, let's slow down. We have a lot of security challenges going on right now in Africa. We have coups in many countries in Africa. Let's try to resolve this problem first. Let's not bring in more military force into Africa. They won't say that. They won't say that. They won't say that. After all, they are getting most of their fundings from outside. So if they say something like that, it will prevent them from getting these handouts. This is something I have been saying, that if Africa is really serious with itself, if Africa really wants to be independent, then Africa must start doing things that can portray their independence. Africa cannot just say by words that we want to be independent or we are independent. No, Africa has to prove it through actions that they are truly independent or they want to be independent. You can't claim to be independent when you are collecting handouts from outsiders. You can't claim to be an independent entity when all your decisions can be overridden by other people. You can't say you are an independent body when you cannot even decide on anything by yourself. You can't say you're an independent body when outsiders can just do things as they want in your own house and you have nothing to say about it, or you cannot even say anything about it, or even if you say something about it, no one will listen to you. It's quite a shock and a very shameful thing. But that is where the African Union and the African people have found themselves. The West or the European Union thinking that they can just impose stuff on us, and our puppet leaders can do anything because they are under the control of the West. They are scared of saying anything because they know if they say something, they will come under the hammer. so they cannot say anything. And now we are in this current situation. So if you ask me, let me just give you my take. I believe that we should not be having foreign forces on the African soil. I believe that we, the Africans, must come out with a way of solving the problem of jihadist movement in the continent. I believe that the AU can work together with other countries in Africa to create an AU military force that will be in charge of fighting these jihadists. The AU can come up with ways of funding their organization without collecting handouts or donations or aid from the West. The AU must show strength. If the AU doesn't do all this, the AU will become a worthless entity like it is right now. And bringing more European forces onto the African soil won't solve the problem of jihadist movement in the continent, because if that were to be the case, that would have been long resolved by now, because France has been fighting this same jihadist movement for more than 10 years now, and they didn't do anything. Nigeria has been there fighting Boko Haram for many years now, and they haven't succeeded. In fact, things have gotten worse than they were 10, 20 years ago. So all these things that these people are doing, like the West is doing, try to bring more force to Africa. It's not really for those jihadists. No. It's not. They are there to counteract Russia and China's influence in Africa. It's not to fight those jihadist movement. But you guys out there, let me know your take on this new development about the EU wanting to bring force, a military force to Africa, all in the name of helping the Africans fight jihadist groups in the Sahel and in West Africa. Do you think that what France did 10 years ago that didn't work, this time because it is the European Union, is going to work? Share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, do not forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little bit of good will, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.